In today's video, we're going to be diving into some stories that the media hopes you don't notice. Why the Clintons have completely vanished since the Epstein files dropped. Why Benedict Arnold is suddenly trending all over X. And how New York's own communist leading councilman, Zohran Mamdani, the next mayor of New York, is going to meet with Donald Trump today. Yeah, it's getting weird out here. Let's jump right in.
Now there's a subpoena, but Bill and Hillary Clinton, if they continue to duck you, will you take them to court? Will you try to enforce a subpoena? Will you go the Steve Bannon and Peter Navarro route?
But the Clintons have never responded. They're the one group in this investigation that's never had to answer questions, or I expect the Clintons to be met with the same fate that Bannon and Navarro were met with when the Democrats were in control.
So let's start with the big question hanging over Washington right now. Where are the Clintons? Ever since the Epstein files were released, they've practically disappeared from public life. And look, these are people who never skip high-profile events. Yet they didn't even show up to Dick Cheney's funeral. Not the Clintons, not the Obamas. This was a gathering of political heavyweights, and some of the biggest names in America politics were just missing. So why now? Why this moment? Why all at once? Is something really going on behind the scenes that we're not being told? Are they laying low because of pressure from Congress after ignoring the subpoena? Or are they staying out of view because they know the spotlight right now is more dangerous than ever? Whatever the reason, their silence is louder than anything they could say, and it gets even stranger when you see what's trending next. Because while the Clintons are hiding, Benedict Arnold just exploded across X. And the timing couldn't be more suspicious.
I'm Senator Alyssa Slotkin.
Senator Mark Kelly. Representative Chris Delizio.
Congresswoman Maggie Goodwin.
Representative Chrissy Houlihan.
Congressman Jason Crow. I was a captain in the United States Navy.
Former CIA officer.
Former Navy. Former paratrooper and Army Ranger.
Former intelligence officer.
Former Air Force.
I want to speak directly to members of the military
And the intelligence community.
who take risks each day to keep Americans safe.
We know you are under enormous stress and pressure right now.
Right now, the threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad,
But from right here at home. Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
you must refuse illegal orders.
No one has to carry out orders that violate the law or our Constitution.
We know this is hard, that it's a difficult time to be a public servant.
But whether you're serving in the CIA,
The Army,
Our Navy,
the Air Force,
your vigilance is critical.
know that we have your back.
Because now, more than ever,
The irony here is the searching for Benedict Arnold on X. I never thought that this would be something that would ever be trending, but it is, and it's because of these congressmen calling for active sedition against the United States military, other government agencies. This story is not going away. As much as they would like to hide it, it is here to stay, and actions have consequences. And I damn sure hope that the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, calls all of them back to active duty. And I would say run them through a court-martial at a minimum.
Donald Trump, since I know you're watching, I have 4 words for you. Turn the volume up.
I will be heading to Washington, D.C. tomorrow to meet with President Trump in the White House. It is customary for an incoming mayor of this city to meet with the White House, given the mutual reliance. It's more critical than ever, given the national crisis of affordability, one that New Yorkers know very well across these 5 boroughs, and the specific challenge many cities are facing with balancing public safety against steps taken by this administration. I know that for tens of thousands of New Yorkers, this meeting is between 2 very different candidates who they voted for the same reason. They wanted a leader who would take on the cost of living crisis that makes it impossible for working people to afford living in this city. My team reached out to the White House to set up this meeting because I will work with anyone to make life more affordable for the more than 8.5 million people who call this city home. I have many disagreements with the president, and I believe that we should be relentless and pursue all avenues and all meetings that could make our city affordable for every single New Yorker. I intend to make it clear to President Trump that I will work with him on any agenda that benefits New Yorkers.
Zohran Mamdani, the mayor-elect of New York City, is going to be rolling into the White House to meet with President Trump, bending the knee. And Zoran, his entire platform has shifted. He's realized that Governor Hochul in New York is not going to raise taxes, or she says she's not. I don't trust her. But now he's going to go kiss the ring with the king and see if he can get some help. And this is not what the people of New York City voted for. They wanted everything for free. They didn't want deals cut between an avowed communist and the president of the United States.
Go on and on. You have a person who wants to further increase taxes and devastate New York, and he wants to nationalize grocery stores and other things. I can tell you there's a lot of people who have gone into the White House before and tried to make a scene and tried to have a big PR event, and I think most of the people got laughed out of it. I mean, we saw that with Zelensky. I think I could probably name 25 people who went into the White House trying to be tough guys, and it didn't end up all that well for them. My father's, I think, performs probably better than anybody in that moment, but we'll see. I mean, my father loves New York. He cares about New York. He wants to see the best for New York, so he would have an open door, and I'm proud of him for having an open door. I don't think this is the right direction from New York. I hope this guy is a lot more bravado than he is real action, but we'll see tomorrow. And and again, this is Donald Trump at his best. If the guy wants to showboat, I think he'll showboat right back, and there's no one that does that better than the commander in chief, as you know better than anybody, Laura.
Eric Trump laid it out correctly. You don't walk into the White House and think that you are going to be in charge. Donald Trump has already set that precedence with Zelensky, with Putin, with Benjamin Netanyahu, and various leaders around the world. It is Trump's world, and you are just visiting it. So, Zoran, I would buckle up if you think you're going to play any games today.
Meeting with Trump and Mamdani.
Well, I'm glad Mayor-elect Mamdani is going because he's never had a job before. So Trump is going to have an opportunity now to explain to him how the world works. Number one, you're not going to be arresting Prime Minister Netanyahu when he comes to New York City. So you can put that out of your mind. Yeah. Number two, you need to cooperate with federal law enforcement and federal immigration when we come into the city to try to enforce existing federal immigration law. So you need to put that out of your mind as well. I hope the president explains to him how the world works. We have federal laws and we have international diplomacy, and those things are handled by the president, not the mayor of New York City.
Scott Jennings laid it out beautifully. This is exactly what we needed to hear. Zoran Mamdani is someone that has actually never had a real job. He's been a community organizer forever. Does that sound familiar? Barack? Yeah. No one would have guessed this is happening. And I haven't ever seen Barack Hussein Obama come out and either support or defend Zoran Mamdani. Could he be pulling the strings behind the curtain? We've seen crazier things, right?
What do we do? What are we going to do? How do you stop this?
Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Mm-hmm. I love California. It's the greatest country in the world. Greatest country in the world. But that's why it pisses me off to see Californians running through the fields where they work from ICE agents.
You heard that correctly. Eric Swalwell is going to run for governor in California. And he just screwed up and called California the greatest country in the world. Well, Eric, you're wrong. The clown Jimmy Kimmel that you were on his show with is wrong. And I don't think you have a chance at winning, but there have been dumber things happen in California. Gavin Newsom, Kamala Harris, Nancy Pelosi, Adam Schiff. The laundry list goes on.
And how down in the dirt he gets, even looking today, calling for the execution of elected officials and made a video that he didn't like.
If convicted. Execution if convicted.
There was no if convicted, first of all, from the thing that he re-truthed. Why are you smiling? It's disgusting.
Why are you? You're not that upset.
That was what it says.
Stop it. No, I'm not upset about her calling him vile, and I'm not upset about the sedition thing.
Well, you should be, actually, because that actually proves out the
I'll decide when I'm upset.
No, I
You don't decide when I'm upset.
Do. They made a video
Except when you make me upset, and you're starting to make me upset.
Wait, by the way.
Leave it to Jessica Tarloff to put her foot in her mouth again. This is exactly what happens, and I believe that Fox News keeps her on as a paid pundit, as a bit of a punching bag, because she really rubs me the wrong way, but I can't stop watching to see what's going to come out of her mouth next. I think she's actually married to a Russian and works on the side for George Soros. So good for Fox to keep her around. just for some, I don't know, some rage bait?
What we have found is that within the SNAP program, there is a way for certain states to apply for programs that allow those SNAP dollars to go to fast food restaurants. There are currently 9 states that allow that. And what we have found is in just the last 2 years, taxpayer dollars going into SNAP, those SNAP dollars of the amount of $524 million was spent on fast food. We know that we have health issues across the board here in the United States of America. Those SNAP dollars, and I'll remind everybody that the N in SNAP stands for nutrition, should not be going to fast food.
Joni Ernst, senator out of Ohio, has just revealed probably the deepest and darkest secret out of the whole EBT and SNAP program. $524 million of taxpayer dollars was spent on fast food from SNAP benefits. Can you believe this? I know people watching my channel that get $25, $30 in SNAP benefits, and they struggle every day. And that's what SNAP is for, is to help people that are struggling. Not for Uber Eats, not for DoorDash, not for McDonald's. It is for sustenance. It is for keeping people alive, not fattening them up.
But every one of these dopes is advocating something that won't cause them pain. Slotkin won't be dishonorably discharged. Kelly won't be court-martialed. But those still serving, they're the ones who will take the heat if they take the videos seriously. But worst of all, think globally. It's nuts that none of these people stopped and thought, maybe this isn't a good message to send to our enemies. Talk about subversion. So if you hear later that one of our guys flips over to China or Russia, remember the 6 Dems urging them to fight Congress's battles for them. It's advice given from the comfort of their Washington offices that they can now drive home from without getting carjacked because someone followed Trump's orders.
Greg Gutfeld nailed it. These morons that went on here and made this video calling for sedition to incite United States military members to defy illegal orders. They knew exactly what they were doing. And now it's going to be time to pay the piper. Worst of all, these nuts really believe what they're saying. And they have a massive platform. Someone's pulling the strings behind the curtains here. Could it be the Clintons? Could it be the Obamas? Could it be the Soros Foundation? Someone told them what to say, because I don't believe any of them have ever had an original thought. But when you bring government agencies, when you bring the United States military into this boundary of dumbassery, you need to be investigated. You need to be removed from Congress. You need to be removed from the Senate. And we need to find out who is coordinating this, because this is a shadow government. This is the deep state rearing its ugly head.
Right or wrong? This? Wrong. All day long. He's MAGA. Shut up. It was wrong to put the duty to check a president on the troops. It's on you. You have a constitutional duty. What an ugly irony that it's members of Congress asking this. It should be citizens who might be asking that. You were supposed to check. It's why you raised your right hand. But what is it about now? They're looking for a fight. Why? Because you want them to. Because you want a muscular response to Trump. You want him to stop walking all over you. You want him to stop getting away with everything and him calling the game all the time and controlling everything. You want a muscular response. That's why you want Newsom on Twitter, acting like fools. We're all acting like fools. Why? Because I guess we don't know any better anymore. But I know we're playing with fire, and I know worse is to come on this course. I don't like it. I don't want it.
Even Chris Cuomo had to come out and speak out against this. This is the guy that, told you to hide in your basement during the coup. But even he can't ignore the stupidity that's occurring right now.
It's hard to shock me, but this crossing the line of these former CIA officers, Army officers, a Navy captain, Mark Kelly. I mean, That video will live in infamy. I am stunned of what they've tried to do. They are trying to insert themselves, I don't know, sedition or insurrection, to actually talk to the troops, to insert themselves between the military and the commander-in-chief. And as you know, President Trump, we got emergency orders, the invasion of the country. We've got a carrier battle group off of Venezuela. We have an amphibious ready group. We have 3,000 fleet Marines. They're talking about potential invasion. Now, we're not for the invasion, but you've also got, as the Washington Post, New York Times said, we have covert action going on right now. We have troops everywhere. They're negotiating a deal in Ukraine. They may have security guarantees, which we hate, but they're trying to negotiate with the Russians. They got this huge negotiation in Gaza. You have 200 boots on the ground in Israel right now as the logistics coordinator for the Gaza, for at least the Gaza, drawdown. So that's why I asked you to come in. I mean, you're the tip of the spear here for fighting these things. Is this to shock you just conceptually that now in our government, elected officials are actually looking into a camera and telling the military to disregard the orders of the commander?
Steve Bannon, former United States Naval Intelligence Officer, he brought this out on his show, and he made a great point. This is the kind of video that will be used in military training for years to come. These people just showed the American troops, the American military, the American taxpayer of what is actually occurring behind the scenes and what we need to be aware of. We got to flush these people out. We have to get them out of any level of leadership in our United States government, or we are doomed.
She was back in the district at this event. We tried again.
I also wanted to ask you about the investigation into your families. But this is also part of her congressional duties. Congresswoman, you're under investigation for the congressional ethics for violation of campaign finances. Congresswoman, this is your district. You have to answer to these people. Congresswoman.
Attorneys for her family's healthcare company aren't answering the I-Team's questions either. And the Department of Emergency Management says they won't comment on ongoing litigation, leaving taxpayers and her constituents wondering what happened to those millions.
Speaking of doomed, Representative Sheila Sheriffless has been caught stealing $5 million in FEMA funding. And what does she do? She doesn't admit it. She doesn't say, hey, my bad. No, she twists it back around and blames it on her being black. So are we supposed to assume that stealing is okay if the color of your skin is darker than mine? What is going on here? Are we going to see any Republicans actually do a damn thing? Are they going to take any actions? $5 million in taxpayer funding stolen and used for her family that does some kind of medical insurance. Does that sound familiar? Maybe a little Obamacare funding, some subsidies there. This is a clown show, and we are about to lock up another one of the clowns.
When they get power, they're going to crush you, destroy them completely, destroy everything about them, put the mayors in jail, put the governors up on the Insurrection Act for sedition, put them in mandatory prison labor camps, any of them that are violent, authorize the police officers to respond with violence to them, completely shut it down, bring in the military if you need to, bring in the National Guard, do whatever you need to do, look and find out who's funding this, take those people, charge them with incitement for terrorism. Like, I'm talking about scorched earth, Old Testament, get them the f*** out.
And I believe he nails it, because we're in a position where we can actually make a difference right now. If you want to make a difference here on the channel, hit that join button. Become a channel member, jump into the private Discord. That's where you can talk with me directly and all the other patriots that are already members. It is kind of a network of just patriots, and who knows where you might be traveling, where you might need to get in touch with some help. We're in this together. Stay sharp, stay strong, and as always, we troll with truth. I'll see you in the next one.